FOG Andrew here, and the coach here, and Chris, and Ryan. This is crazy. This is a 4-person video.
We need a bigger couch.
We need a bigger couch.
You can't beat the Arrow couch. Can't beat it.
We're doing it. We're doing because the 4 of us played it. A review.
Well, we didn't just play it. We just finished.
We just finished our 3rd session, and that's the end of the campaign or adventure that comes in the Arkham Horror role-playing game starter set, Hungering Abyss, which I saw that I literally texted you. I was like, dude, you could play William Yorick in an RPG for Arkham
First of all,
Horror.
I was like, buy it.
You were like, I'll send you the money right now.
Yeah.
What's it called? But
hungering for
isn't
more.
it? We've been calling William Yorovic.
It is
William
Yorick.
Yeah, but I like Yorovic
But
better.
Yorick,
Yorovic
sounds better. I mean,
It's
according
more
to my
exotic.
lore video, it is Yorick.
Okay, but
I think it just sounds better to us because that's what we've been saying.
yeah,
It's just like the Empire of the Dust.
Yeah.
We've just made it a thing.
So, I wanted to finish the adventure before we do this review because I wanted us to get the full experience of playing the Arkham Horror RPG starter set. I wanted to do an unboxing of this, but I didn't. So
It's unboxed.
it's unboxed.
It's
as you
unboxed.
can see.
It's on the
There's
table.
really not much in it.
Yeah, I mean, it has, like the tokens and the maps and cards and like evidence and dice and like these cool like portfolio books and everything. I think that stuff is pretty cool.
Right.
For it. I thought like it. By the way, the box is $35.
Well, one
I
mission.
think that's what.
Yeah, well, one mission.
Well, we played 3 sessions, so really
No,
3 missions.
No, it's one campaign.
It's one campaign.
It's one
with
adventure.
about
but
5 missions. in it.
That's as per usual in like D&D starters.
I'm not. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean those ones are obviously a little bit more involved because it's D&D.
My point of reference was Arkham Horror. Not Arkham Horror. Was Mansions.
right, but this is like
No, I
put
understand.
like put Mansions aside. Like this is a completely different.
I was
experience.
William York. How can I put Mansions? aside?
Anyway,
Mansions
so
is in his blood.
what?
Mansions is in William York's blood.
true.
Didn't want to be a gravedigger then. I don't want to be one now.
Well, listen, it is too late to play Mansions. So, anyway, I was the GM. You played as.
Rita Young.
You were,
Daisy.
and you were.
Y'all know already. Y'all know. The big MC himself. The big GD himself.
You're like the grave. I didn't choose the gravedigger life. The gravedigger life chose me.
Yeah, and according to the lore, I hate it.
Well, you're a failed actor.
Yeah, I guess so.
You didn't watch the lore video.
No, I did watch the. I never want to be a gravedigger.
So, since I was the GM for this, which I love to do D&D, Dungeon Master, Game Master.
You like to
stuff
be
like that.
annoying when you do that too.
I know. Was I annoying in this?
Yes.
Yes, very much so.
Okay. So
Hey, maybe
you want to
roll
go?
randomly.
You want to go down the line of opinions? I'll do it after, just because, I want to hear what you.
I want
guys
to hear
have
coaches first because he's
Yeah,
the
we'll go-
experienced D&D guy.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll go, coach. So how long have you been playing D&D? Or when was your first D&D session?
1982.
The
81,
Reagan
81.
administration.
Actually, it was Carter when I started, so that must have
the
been earlier.
70s.
Yeah, earlier.
So, and we've done like modern D&D a little bit.
Right.
How does this compare to like other RPGs or like D&D that you've played?
It's a little bit watered down. It's more of a like kind of. It's good because it's an introduction to an RPG. If you're not used to playing RPGs, we played a lot of miniature games. We played a lot of board games, but this is where you have to interact with things, and I think it was pretty good. There was a few things that happened, like at the end, Chris did something where it was like, "Oh, what if I do this?" And like I would have never thought of that, but he cast a spell on somebody that was on our side, and it actually worked to our advantage. So it's a nice little thing. The dice mechanic is a little weird because you have
dynamic pool system.
Yeah, it's different. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just different. I don't like the fact that it didn't come with miniatures. That's if I'm going to get a knock to it. I don't like that it didn't come with miniatures. But there and again, it was, you said $30.
35.
35.
I mean,
I'm
I
saying
use
if
the
it-
miniatures from
Right. Well, we have
Mansions
tons of
Madness,
miniatures, but
so.
we have tons of miniatures, but it didn't come with. I guess that would keep the cost low. Use
Right.
the 2D
Tokens.
thing. I don't like to use that because it's like you might as well just play with buttons and quarters.
I mean, to be honest with you,
is this your opinion?
I would take. I can interject a little bit. I'm the game master.
I guess so.
I would rather take like a map and then the tokens. Then we could just use whatever minis we want. You know what I mean? Just the maps, I think, are
we could
fantastic.
we could just use anything. We could
Yeah.
use orcs and goblins
Right.
if we really want
Right.
to.
Okay, I'll let you.
Okay, that's what I just
I'll
said.
allow it.
I'll
Roll in a presence test to keep giving your opinion. Okay, go.
I think you have to hit him with the E.
So anyway,
The mind
so like I
wipe.
was saying, the missing the miniatures, also no terrain. Everything was 2D, but it kind of worked, which was good. I like the grid system for movement because I like you have to see stuff because I know sometimes if you don't play a role playing game with miniatures or something to know where everything is, you don't know who's hitting you from the front, whatever. The combat system is very, very, very easy. There's no special attacks or this and that. There was a little bit of magic and stuff. What I'd like to see is maybe some other things like bonuses, because we were doing stuff and it's basically passing a test. So there's the risk and gamble involved where I have 6 dice. Should I roll 3 or 4? Should I roll 5 dice because it's really important? But then in defense, I only have 1 dice. So it's really a gamble that you have to think strategy-wise. So the dynamic pool it's good because it's like, what do I do? You know, or I got to roll a 3. Well, I got a 50-50 shot. And then I increase that by adding more dice. So, you know, it's pretty good. But like I said, it's very basic. It's very, very good. I always like the Lovecraft lore of, you know, the Cthulhu-ish type stuff. So, you know, in that essence, it's good. So I think it's good because if you, like I said, if you've never played an RPG, this is a good way to cut your teeth on it. I would have liked to see a little more story driven. There was not too much lore in it. It was just kind of basic. Because we've played Mansions of Madness. It's like find out some stuff and then stop the summoning of whatever.
That's a good point.
You know, so, you know, we've done that in Mansions like 18 times. Now you're doing it in this, which is a little different, but it's like not Mansions. But it's basically Mansions without the app. So instead of going to one location, which like, you know, you enter this building, all of a sudden the door closes behind you. What do we do now? This is more like, all right, we went to the police station, we went to here, we went to this guy's house, we've done this, we did that. So, you know, it's a good step. I'd like to see an expansion, see what happens, because it's very, like I said, very, very confined, very not really like open scale or whatever. So.
Well, I will when we're done with opinions. I'll tell you why that is.
Okay.
So,
all right. So
Chris,
that's
would
it.
you like to? If
Yeah.
you're done.
So I did like it. I thought the story was good at times and like left something to be desired at times. Like there were times when we were wondering who the good guy was, who the bad guy was, trying to figure things out like that. The ending was kind of anticlimactic a little bit, so that was my biggest thing. It was like a lot of work, and then the ending was sort of like,
And then it's just.
and then it's like the end.
Yeah.
You know. So I like the dice pool system because it brings the, like you said, the element of strategy in.
Right.
I also liked the leveling up, so you could increase, or you know, so if you have to roll a 4 for lore, you can drop it down to a 3. As you go further in the game, that helps more. So I really like that aspect, and I also like the different that, you know, I was more of the magic, and you were more of the melee, and you were more shooting.
grave
You were,
digging,
yeah, you just had a shovel and were walking around. Well, you lost your shovel early on.
I lost my shovel early on, but we'll get
In
to
the
that
burning
my
house.
In the burning house, yeah. But I liked it. I haven't played very many RPGs, so I think it's a good starting thing. It's not very complicated. It's very straightforward, and it's not, you know, it's still fun, but it doesn't go too in depth. So if you're new to it, or if you know, just want something that doesn't take hours and hours and hours, but still takes enough to be, exciting and to have fun, I think it's a good game.
The positives of this is like I think what Chris just said. I think it's and it's what Coach mentioned. It's watered down to a point where it's like this is really like palatable to jump in for the first time. So like, I think this is a really good first RPG experience for people who haven't played. And I think if you have played before, like I don't see there's no reason why you wouldn't enjoy this. I echo Chris's statement that the plot kind of was up and down. I feel like there were a lot of times where it was like, yeah, we kind of just like left areas in the hospital like unexplored and just like moved on. I don't feel like obviously you could always do more, but I didn't feel it was necessary to complete the story. So I felt that was a little empty. Like we went into this big building and we only like searched half of it, and the rest was kind of unimportant to the plot. But like sometimes you do one thing and it changes something else. I like the dice pool. I think that's good. Yeah, I also agree with Coach on the just like we've played. I think the lore is lacking a little bit. Like we've played Mansion, so it was like, maybe we didn't think twice about it. But I feel like if this is the first Arkham Horror game you're picking up, you'd be a little confused. I think. And then yeah, I don't know. I think at times it also felt easy, and then the ending was anticlimactic. Yeah, I think there should be more opportunities to get like some like this is not Zombicide. I'm not making that comparison, but like I almost want like a pimp weapon. You know what I mean? Like I picked up a Winchester and that was good and bad for portions of the game. And I know some people picked up spells, but sometimes like you search and you use dice to search and it's like, yeah, you got a shard of glass. Don't cut yourself,
Or like when we went to the graveyard and we searched the shed and it was like, there's nothing.
Right.
There's dirt. It's like,
Well, what I think though, there's a common theme in these games, where even in Mansions and the other game that we played, the card game, the
Arkham Horror, the card
Arkham Horror card game.
Which actually, remember we did that, right? This is the storyline from that starter set, because remember Lita Chandler was in that.
Right.
It's the same kind of
But what
thing,
happened,
but in the card game.
I understand that this is supposed to be like we're not these like say space marines or orcs or something super powerful. It's just a bunch of regular people getting together with some like so Rita's the athlete, so she's good at melee and stuff, and your character was good at she was a librarian, so she researched things, and I get that, but the thing is, it's like we're stuck in melee combat for like a long time, and it's like I picked up a weapon, and it's like, oh great, I got a weapon, but it's like, oh, it does one more damage. Was there something else I could have maybe gotten, like I don't know, a bat with a nail in it, or something that would help you a little bit more than just like, all right, well now you get one extra wound, because there was a lot of times like it got dicey, and I think there should be some kind of, if the bad guys are getting worse and we're not getting anything better, it seemed to me, it was like I'm like, oh my God, it's like we went to one place and there was like a guy with like 6 ghouls. I'm like, we're not gonna make it out of this thing.
I mean, if we didn't level up and like I didn't drop my lore down,
right,
and you didn't drop your melee down, we probably wouldn't have
been
won.
in bad shape.
Yeah.
But with that, it helps, but it's like not enough. There's no chainsaw. There's no I mean, I understand it's from the 30s, but there was some stuff that we could have used.
Right.
So
with that being said, me being the game master and reading the adventure book twice, the first time I read through it, and then the second time I read through it again, but also like wrote my notes down on my iPad to kind of get my thoughts together and what to do in certain situations. I noticed with this, and then with like the D&D starter sets that have adventures, the D&D starter sets are a lot more detailed about certain things. Do you know why there wasn't anything in the graveyard shed? Because it didn't say there was anything in
Right.
there. So I was like, okay. I was like, oh, maybe I'll give one of you like
well, I saw you had like lots of
I
cards.
had cards,
left over.
yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll give you an improvised
we
weapon.
had- I'm
you
sorry.
already had that card.
You have cards. We should explain that cards were like
Items
stuff,
and spells and weapons and stuff.
Because D&D, everywhere you look, there's something.
Right.
Like, all right, you found 30 copper pieces. All right.
But the one thing though that kind of a couple of things, like okay, so like Joe Diamond's house, right? It has like a box here that says if you go in the dining room, there is various fiction and nonfiction books, a telephone book containing the names and phone numbers of most Arkham residents, a candlestick style rotary telephone, or if you go into the storage room, oh crap, there's the shotgun shells, matches, an old baseball hat. Like it tells you what you're gonna find in there, and then for me as the GM, I can be like, oh, you know, I could kind of expand like a little bit of, you know, like okay, you know, you see on the ground there's a box containing, you know, ammo, shotgun shells, and then you see a small box of like a full box of matches and like an old kind of like rugged baseball cap. I can kind of expand on that, but that was the only time they did that.
Right.
So, like, for the graveyard, they could have said something like, in the shed, you can find a frickin' shovel, or this, or that, or that, or you know...
Like a scythe
like,
or something.
explain
Pitchfork.
kind of... Like,
Pitchfork,
like in D&D, like, the starter set has... It's like, okay, you go into this room. It gives us, like, a 2-sentence blurb of what's in the room. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I could improvise and do that.
I was going to say, like,
but,
maybe you could...
it doesn't give me direction in here. Now, granted, this is a starter set adventure book, which is fine, and it's good for what it is, but also, like, then at the end, it was like, okay, you guys run out, and then now you can buy the core rule book if you want.
Spoiler
you know?
I feel like Mansions does the RPG element better than this did, and this is an RPG game. This
Yeah.
the only thing is the game master is the iPad.
Well, I mean,
Right.
well, also, like, Mansions is not...
There's more stuff to find too.
Yeah, but I would not consider Mansions to even be an RPG at all. Like
Why?
this is more of an RPG
yes.
styled game. That I think is
No, this is a true RPG.
Yes.
That is an RPG that you can play, and like you said, the iPad is the
Right.
game
So
master.
we figure it out.
Think about
that
it.
way.
No, it is literally I understand this is the style. If you just kind of look at the setup, this is what RPG setups generally look like. But literally, the iPad is the game master. You're discovering stuff that you don't know what is going to be. Like sometimes you look at a painting and it's like the game rewards you with it. Maybe it's not the most crucial thing, or you get items towards the game. I felt like there was, I don't want to say more like there's more substance to that, and I would have wanted more substance in here. And I remember when we did the D&D that one time, like I felt like there was a lot of substance, and maybe that's just like part and parcel with D&D, but like I just felt like that was missing. Like you just mentioned, like yeah, they didn't give me instructions in the shed, like everything was kind of empty.
I
think-
agree,
I
but
think-
I agree with you though on that. Like D&D had a lot more like substance, and like I can like even if it gives like a sentence, I can play off of that sentence. This, it didn't really give me a lot.
But is this? I mean, then again, with this, you could have just done anything you wanted.
I was
Well,
gonna
you
ask
could-
You could have
with
even
you-
made like.
Oh
you
no,
know, we
I
went
did.
into-
I did improvise
like-
a couple
like-
of times.
Yeah.
Like if we went to the shed, it could have been like, you know, we hear something and we kind of go, and it's it's Joe, William Yorvik's assistant.
Right.
Oh,
Did you
I-
improvise with the bullets in the car?
I heard this. You know what I'm saying?
See, like I remember, I don't know if I was hallucinating, but I thought that it said it in the book, but it wasn't in my notes, so I just gave it to you anyway.
Yeah. See,
But
that's
you
like
understand what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden, it could be like, you
Oh,
know,
no,
we're
I
kind
did
of
not-
off the path, and
Yeah,
then you could just make, there was
No, that happened a couple of times.
like
and
there's
I
a guy. I
improvised
heard
a
these
couple
zombies,
of
and I
times.
went to hide in here, and
I have a serious question though. Is there a way to break this game? And this is the example I was thinking of,
Yeah.
like negative consequences for things we do. When we were in the hospital, right? Obviously, we are the good guys in this, but like we failed a test to get past the front desk. What was stopping me from just killing her? I'm being
Nothing.
serious. Nothing. If I killed her,
You literally could have killed her.
and then done what we needed to do. That was
yeah,
it.
but now
Yes.
it's like, but it goes back into the realm where.
But
it's
then
like,
here's the thing: if you did that, I would have had the cops try to chase you.
Okay, that's fair.
Like
But
the
also-
security guard was
Right.
there.
Yeah, but there's
He
4 of us.
cou-
We could have killed them.
Right, and the security guard heard you kill her, and then called the cops.
now we have to stop the cultists, and
Chase
while we're
the
running,
house.
we're running away
Right,
from the
you
cops.
run away from the cops.
But also, you're
I could have threatened her at
Sort of-
gunpoint.
But you're sort of experienced at running. If this is their first time maybe running a game, they might not think to
Right.
improvise like
Right.
that or make the story.
Well-
They're just following the book.
Right.
All of that might not.
I trust
Well,
you. I'm not that bad. I know
here-
my mind just went there,
here-
but like, what? I was like, we got to get in the hospital.
Here's so spoilers for some of the stuff in here. The thing with the night gaunt in the graveyard,
Yeah.
like that thing was not a thing in the book
Oh, you added
at all.
Oh, you added
They
it?
have a thing where it's like, oh, if you're traveling somewhere, you could have the night gaunts attack. And I'm like, well, that's kind of just like a random thing.
that's-
but I thought
right.
it was cooler, like, okay, the night gaunt kind of bursts out of Billy Cooper or whatever.
Well,
and,
Okay.
you know.
But that's in D&D. That's a wandering monster. So you would roll, and then like
yeah,
you roll something.
no, I
you get attacked
I
by.
get that 100%.
Yeah.
But here,
No, that was
but-
cool.
Yeah.
I get that, but here's the thing for the night gaunt. This and that. That's all it gives me.
So
You know what I
so
mean?
so what this is basically, this is like what Chris said. This is like, oh, this is a cool thing. I like the lore. Why don't we get a bunch of friends together? I read the book. It seems like it was easy.
Yeah.
And you don't really have to be that creative with it. Let's just go here, do this, do that, do this.
Right.
Okay? If you're an experienced RPG player, this might be a little bit lower level. And then
yes.
but it also now, two things. Are they coming out with expansions?
So
Or we don't know.
don't know.
And
I
if-
don't see why not.
If they do,
well, they're gonna just do like probably I would assume like
A box
an
submission?
adventure. No, not a box, like an adventure book.
Oh,
Because
okay,
like D&D, it's like you're not buying a box with
But it's
with an adventure.
we
you're
wouldn't
buying
get
a whole
mats.
book. No, probably not. I mean, I don't know. They could maybe do like an expansion box with mats and cards and stuff, but like like D&D, you get
the
book.
module.
That is
Yeah.
it.
we call
I know.
them-
I do
And
like
then you
the map
figure
for
it
this,
out
though.
from there.
We used to
Yeah.
call them modules. I don't know if they still do. But
Yeah.
number one, do we know if they're going to come out with new things?
No idea.
If they do, if they come out with another box for $30, $35, it's not bad. Number two, can we take the same characters, but now that we're seasoned veterans in this particular thing, like in D&D, where you level up, because we are at level 3. So now that we're at level 3, can we go there? Because like you can't get anything lower than a 3 in this game. So I have 3 things that I lower to 3. My other stuff is like 6s and 5s. I would like to bring that down, like the lore, knowledge, whatever. When we go to the next per se, do we do it again, or do we got to start with like, kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because they have a core rule book.
Now, what is the core rule book?
The core rule book has, I believe it has rules on. It might have. I think it has rules on creating a character, like creating your own character, and I think it has like a mini, like adventure that's I think shorter than this. In the core rule book, like a starting adventure. And then just like expands on the rules. Because also, by the way that this explains the rules is as it explains the story. I don't like that at all. No. It should be like D&D is perfect. You have a rule book, and then you have the adventure book, 2 different books. But like this is like, oh, so now you encounter this monster. Here's how combat works, and it's like it was all over the place. I felt like
So this
when
is
it
basically
did
just a
that.
tutorial box.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that being said, I did have a lot of fun with this.
Oh, yeah.
It was
I
okay.
thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do very much like the dynamic pool system because it's like,
Something
okay, those are your actions, but if you're taking damage, now you have less actions to do.
It's kind of like Bushido in a way, where you get a certain amount of dice, and you're like, how many am I going to use for attacks and defense, or defense and attack? You know what I mean? Like it's a gambling aspect.
You want to save the dice for later. You don't want to spend
Or-
them all,
or
use them all for a big attack.
If you think he's gonna, yeah. But that's the thing too. It's like it's just a test,
Right.
so you have to see. So, and it's a different dynamic. It wasn't terrible. I mean, it was good. It was fun to do this.
Yeah.
But it's very, very vanilla.
Yeah.
Very, very just, this is really good if you never played an RPG, it's time to go. That's why I think it was like that. Because if you just pick up this book and you're like, okay, now we're going to do this. Here's how combat works. Let me read it. Give me a sec. Let me read it. Okay, let's do combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. It was a tutorial.
Like, and then also...
The thing, too, I'm sorry, with the mission, we had to interpret 2 letters,
Yeah.
and we had to interpret those
The sliding
the puzzles, which
Yeah.
was kind of annoying.
Well, that was my next question. Besides the puzzles, what did you think about the physical evidence?
I like the physical.
I like the
evidence.
physical evidence. The
just
slide
didn't do
puzzles, I wasn't thrilled with.
We're not thrilled with the ones in mansions either.
Just the mechanic. You're right, but these, those. I mean, I like the cryptic quote ones, but that's just because I was good at those.
I did too, but it really didn't. It was.
It didn't add really anything to the. I mean,
It's
other
like
than telling
we
us
kinda-
who one of the characters.
We kind
was.
of found out that we have to stop a summoning of whatever,
Right.
and then we got
Well,
a letter saying we have to stop the summoning of the demon, and then we got another letter saying, oh, it said the same thing, but like the unbelievers will die and all that,
Right.
kind of. So it was like, oh, all right, this is the 3rd time we got to stop this frickin' thing, and we're wasting time interpreting these
Well,
things. There was no clue to it.
The first one cued us into who was the bad guy, or the first bad guy. It was Father Warren, right? Or Brother Warren?
Professor Warren.
Professor Warren.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I know the leading up to that, but the signature on that was, I think that led us
Yeah.
to go to his house. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could
Also-
have gone anywhere next. So,
Also, like Velma's Diner, this is it for it. Doesn't really give me a lot. The Magic Shop, this is it.
Yeah.
And that one I did improvise a good amount.
Yeah.
Because it didn't really. It just says
We asked
like
for a
it's
discount.
run by Miriam
Does it-
Beecher. This is
And
what
that
she
was
sells.
that was like an
it.
integral part of what we did, because wasn't that where we got one of like the spells that we used in the end?
Yeah, you bought the. Which one? Oh, you
The
bought
mind-
the Ward of Protection.
Ah, okay.
No, the mind wipe. I think you got that at Professor Warren's.
Ah, okay.
And I was a melee person. We went in there. It's like, do you have anything that could help me? I was thinking, can I get a dagger or something?
Yeah.
No.
But then also the other thing is too, they do have a thing where you can go and find like a black market shop and like buy like some items. I couldn't figure out where to fit that in at all. Like narratively, I couldn't figure it out.
You could have made it just pop up in the graveyard or something.
I was like, oh, maybe like a guy runs across and is like, and then like Joe Diamond recognizes him or something.
Right.
Like, I was trying to figure it out.
You could have did something like in the first Beetlejuice where they had the strip club pop up in the middle of his thing, and we just, oh look, Nippleopolis.
Yeah, I really, the mind wipe spell you found in Professor Warren's house.
Was there a thing at the beginning? I mean, we could do whatever we want because we bought the game. We could do whatever the hell we want. But was there something in there saying like you can be as creative as you want and add what you want?
It does that whole thing where it's like, and that every RPG does, where it's like, what is an RPG? What does that mean? But and the one thing I don't like about RPGs, which I might get flack for, is the hello, I am so and so, and this and that. I don't like that stuff. I like it when it's funny and like it's somewhat in it, but I didn't do it a lot in this.
Right. But that's that's personal.
But that's personal preference. That's not.
I just personally am not,
Right.
We're
too
not
crazy
we're
about
not
that.
crit-
I kind of just
we're not Critical
paraphrase.
Role.
I kind of paraphrase what the person says instead of like, I'm like, oh, so she explains this or that,
Right.
or whatever,
Maybe you should. Maybe we should have a little bit more theater in our RPG.
I don't
someone
like
say
that.
theater?
Yes. You should have done a lot more acting.
He was the failed actor.
That's
Yeah.
what I said.
I mean, he was working for the telecom company, so
So what?
he was on his phone the whole time.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So anyway, would you guys consider doing like, let's say, the adventure in the core rulebook, or if they do another thing coming out, would you guys want to do it?
I don't see why getting the core rulebook and has a mini adventure in it. Why are you getting a core rulebook that's going to expand on stuff to have a smaller adventure than what we did here?
Don't know. But also, like, they hit, like, oh, I could make my own adventure. I don't like making my own adventure. I just want to follow the frickin' book.
Some people do. Some people
I know
like to
that.
make their own
But that's
adventure.
the other thing, too. I think in that book, it also explains how you can make, or, like, what, like, tips and tricks. Because you can do whatever you want with an RPG, but, like, tips and tricks on how to
Could
make.
you incorporate the maps and things like that? and
Probably.
monsters into it.
Yeah.
That's something
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, with this starter set, like, I can just incorporate some of this stuff and the cards and whatever into it. but again, like the rule book, like okay, besides the rule book, let's say they put out like an adventure module, like a whole like thick $50 book campaign. Would you guys want to do it? That wouldn't be 3 sessions. It'd be probably like maybe 10 sessions or something.
Yeah.
Would you guys consider maybe doing that?
I like to do that, but I also like you to maybe improvise a little bit more and like put a little bit more into it, less vanilla, more
Well,
spice.
yeah, no, I know, but again, like this, trust me, like you can read through it. It really doesn't give. I felt it doesn't.
It's open-ended to
but again, I will be honest with you. I improvised a lot with a lot of the
But
stuff
this
you
also,
guys were
I mean,
doing.
it even does say starter set. So I feel
Yeah.
like this is for people that want to get into,
Right.
that may be intimidated by a game like D&D,
Right.
or something that's much more, or people that want to be more creative and
Right.
want to be, do the theatrical stuff.
Right.
I feel like if they come out with more, they might get more involved.
Right.
Like this was just to sort of dip your feet in the deep
Yeah.
end of the pool.
Yeah.
And then going on,
100%.
it'll be more involved,
Well,
and
this
there'll
is
be more of a story.
Definitely the shallow end of the pool, and then you can,
Well, yeah.
But I mean, I enjoyed it.
No, it
a
was
lot.
fun.
No, it was fun, but
You
it was.
know.
I was expecting more.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I was expecting a lot more.
I just want to play Mansions.
It's too late.
Way too late for that.
It's only 1:00 in the afternoon, but it's late.
So Ryan, final thoughts?
I just want to play Mansions.
Okay, actual final thoughts.
It was fine. I wouldn't be like super. Like I think if you texted me and was like, "Hey, like this came out," I would say I would just like, whatever the split is, I would just send you the money. But I was definitely more excited going in than coming out.
Well, you were on your phone the whole time. Chris, what?
Guys, don't fight.
Final
I
thoughts?
think it was good for what it was. I think it was fun. It could it have been better? Yes, but for what it was, I think it was good.
I think it was good, but I think it leaves a lot to be desired, and then I'm not sure if I'm willing to go further into this. Maybe I might try another game because this. I mean, I like the Lovecraft lore, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got some pluses and minuses. They need to really they need to ramp up the create the story and the creativity moving forward.
It needs less ghouls and more thralls. That's what I think.
Now, sorry, what were you?
No, what I was gonna say is, if they did come out with another box and it was the same, I would say probably not to do. We probably wouldn't do a third one.
Yeah.
But if they come out and they expand on it, then I would say,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, my next question is, I have 3 other RPGs we can play. What do we do next then? What do we
With
try?
this?
Because no, like different games.
Oh.
That is my next question. You know what I mean?
Should we just put it up to a straight vote?
Oh, Hamatsu.
Okay, not counting Hamatsu.
What
It's
are
a miniature
okay?
game.
What are the
Avatar.
3 games?
Obviously, Dungeons and Dragons. I have Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, like the Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. Those are the 3 that I have.
I would probably vote either D&D or Avatar.
What about you, Chris?
I would probably go D&D or Avatar. I would lean towards D&D. But
What about you?
I would say D&D and MC Marvel Universe
Yeah.
or Hamatsu.
So it sounds like D&D was the ranked choice.
yes,
I think.
I think D&D is because it's just like there's
gotta
Give
go
me
stand.
Give me a month to prep D&D then.
It's
The last
also-
time
it's-
you did it, you drew a map and it was awesome. Like you did it on loose leaf paper, and I had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I did it on the grid paper. Yeah.
And it was
But
still a lot of
now-
fun.
we should have more of a better with your skills of editing and art and design. We should have massively incredible, deep lore and just
no pressure.
Guess you got to give me a month to prep for a
and
D&D
Chris
session.
could make music during it, and
With his
Ryan
didgeridoo.
With my didgeridoo,
Ryan
that's true.
could text us while he's playing. We could really just get to it.
Ryan could live tweet the game.
Live tweet.
All right, guys. If you guys have played the Arkham Horror RPG, let us know what you think down in the comments below. I'm very curious to see what other people think. I know I've seen a couple of videos of people saying that it seems more board gamey than RPG-y, but I kind of like that better.
I like that better too.
Yeah.
because it's not complete theater of the mind. You know, it's like, well, where are the tentacles? They're 45 degrees to your right, and then okay, but like how
No,
far am I away from that?
I like seeing it.
I like seeing it physically too. That's like with D&D, I was using the grid paper and I drew the freaking big map, which took me 3 days to do that. Anyway, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Check out our link tree linked in the description. It's got links to our podcast, our Patreon, our Discord server, our social media pages. If I said this, I didn't say that. Okay. Videos on the screen you can check out. Guys, we'll see you in the next one.